Well, welcome back. Yes, it is a wonderful, crisp day. And question was, what did I invest my money that enabled me to retire early? Or how did I get to my fire number, I guess? I don't know what my fire number is. I never really focused on a fire number, but I will say that I invested money, and I didn't have a whole lot, but a little bit over time into Microsoft stock. Before I knew what fire movement was, I was just investing in single stocks. And I stuck with Microsoft and I just plowed, money into it whenever I could. When I got hired with Microsoft, I put my 401k towards the stock. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, my girl. No, no, no. Um, and then I used the employee stock purchase plan to buy stock, as often as I could. I had to stop it here and there for other things, but yeah, all in all, hi, sweetie, we we invested into Microsoft. Agatha is in heat, so Buddy and Agatha, just on the down low, have to be separated because neither one of them are fixed, and I don't want to be a grandpa. Uh, but we have some big things coming up real soon with me and Agatha. But you're right. Mm-hmm. I'm getting excited. But yeah, so most of my money was into Microsoft stock. When I got into more of the fire movement, they talked about index funds and stuff like that, and I didn't quite understand what that was. I didn't know what type of index funds to put it in, but eventually I learned, and I started putting some money into some index funds. Uh, you know, and the index fund was like VOO and VTI were the two funds that I put my money in. I didn't care for them too much because if you're in your 20s and stuff, yeah, it's a great fund to put into, but I needed more aggressive type funds to get me there. So I just focused on Microsoft stock and then a few other things I would put money in here and there. And you little ham. So then I kind of put my money into, I kind of found the world of, and I've been planning since like 20, probably 2020 before, trying to plan more aggressive what to put my money in that would sustain a retirement better. And I couldn't really quite find much of things. I think one fund I looked at was QYLD, and I've owned that for a little bit, but not very long. I mean, it paid good, but I was worried that that fund was not going to take care of what I needed in the long run. So I just took the money out and I put it into other things like the index funds. Uh, since then, I've sold my index funds, uh, and I've sold very few shares of my Microsoft, and I funded some leverage funds, uh, which I do enjoy the leverage funds. You just kind of have to pick and choose the right type of leverage fund and enjoy the roller coaster ride because when it goes up fast. When it goes down fast. So, but it's a long term hold. You hold on to it, and just make sure you find you follow the underline and you're happy with the underline. Most of my leverage funds that I pick are against Nvidia, Microsoft, mostly Microsoft right now. I do like the leverage funds that go up, and then I look for the triple Q type leverage funds, index leverage funds. So those have done very well for me, and they're fairly new. So if you don't know what they are, check them out. The other one people are more getting more into is the high yield funds, and I'm not 100% sold on the high yield funds. So I have less than 25% of my assets in anything between not high yield, but income type funds and leverage. The other 75% are in single stocks. So the income that I try to get into, I like the income type, and I just call them income, but they provide like monthly dividends. Uh, and I like the funds that really pay a return of capital. They're not classified as income. So if you can find some, like I like FEPI, AIPI, are some of my favorite funds. SVOL is one of my favorite funds as well. I have pretty good stakes in those three, mostly in my IRA, the FEPI and AIPI and SVOL. Yeah, mostly in my IRA. So in about 7 years, those should be pretty substantial, and I should be able to live off of those very comfortably. I don't have as big a stake in my taxable account. My taxable account, I have a little bit, but they're just auto dripping, and I'll continue adding more and more money to it as I can. I do have some other income type funds that they're okay. I have some that pay weekly just to kind of because I'm kind of curious what they're how they're going to do, but I didn't put much into them. But there's some different types of funds out there. There's Round Hill. There's some Yield Max, but you have to do your research and try not to get sucked into some of these things. There's a lot of bad funds out there. Um, I pick ones that I favor and then try to buy into as low as I can. Not always, but I have NVDY and a couple other ones that I watch, and I have been starting to trim the top. So when I'm up 15 grand, I'll just trim 15 grand out of the top of it. I'll just take, I'll sell 15 grand worth of shares. That way, the money is mine as I'm learning, and they can't take that away. So that kind of helps me make money. And I have a little bit of less shares, but I have 15 grand, right away. Vice 15 grand that might take 2 years for me to get if I just collect dividends. So that's what I've learned, and I have a good support system. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Joanne. Um, Thank you to the other folks. Has helped quite a bit. I've learned quite a bit. Before I joined this little group of misfits, it was buy and hold, and you just auto drip, and I don't know, you just kind of figure it out. So on top of that, I'm doing a little bit of cover calls. Uh, I'm trying to get back into it a little bit more, but you know, it's one of those slow things. Okay, okay. I know. What are you doing? God, ugh. We don't kiss in the mouth. Mm. No, no. This is my girl. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. We're not doing that. Anyhow, I'm going to leave this in here for everybody to see what I deal with. Um, but yeah. So all in all, I mean, it's not financial advice. It's not telling you to invest your money in anything I am. Um, you know, just as kind of an idea to understand what I'm doing, the money that I make from my monthly income, most of it is just reinvested, just auto dripping it. I'm not touching it. It's a return of capital, most of the stuff, and I just want that to grow for a later time. And if I need to, then I can stop and take the cash if I need to when it pays. The ones that are classified as income, I just pocket that. Most of it, I'll pocket it, set aside money for taxes because income, you have to pay taxes. Um, and most of it, or a good portion of it, goes right back into the funds just to keep building it up. I don't need all the money. I'm fine. We can survive with not having getting pulling money, month to month. But I use some of the money to pay for my mortgage, which frees up a little bit more cash for my wife's check, and a little bit of pocket money to each month to do whatever. But other than that, yeah, most of it's going right back into reinvesting itself and growing. And I track. I have spreadsheets and I track to make sure I'm not losing money or too much money. Unrealized gains or losses. And like I said, I'm starting to trim the top, as they call it. When you're ahead, like about ready to cut, about 30 plus K from one of my funds because I'm ahead, and I want to trim it to have some cash reserves. And if the market goes down hard one day, I can take that 30 plus grand or whatever, how much I trim, and buy something more that's going to grow. So we're just kind of looking for black swan events and taking advantage of that. So yeah, all in all, I spend a little bit of time. You do a little bit of research, and you have to be careful what you invest in. Do your research, uh, have discussions, and try not to be influenced by people. And I don't want to influence. That's why I don't want to get into talking about stocks and what to buy or not to buy, because I don't want anybody to follow my plan. My plan is mine, and you know, my success is not going to be your success. Or vice versa. So do your research and figure it out, and not financial advice or anything like that. But this is just kind of what I'm doing, and how it's maintaining a certain lifestyle that I'm having right now. I've cut my expenses down quite a bit, and a little bit more frugal than I have been prior, because I don't have that Microsoft paycheck. Gonna get it better. There you go, girl. All right. So I don't. Anyways, so do your research, figure out what it is, and if you guys want to have a discussion about stocks and things like that, leave me a comment, subscribe. I will continue having conversations if this interests people, and we can go from there. I know a lot of people struggle, with retirement and stuff like that, but it's just something that I'm doing to maintain, you know, income, kind of replace or replenish my income, as I no longer have a check, if that makes any sense. Who knows? Words are hard sometimes, and putting them together is even harder, huh, baby? All right, let's go get it. All right, you guys have a good one. I will talk to you on the next.